3 days before Christmas in 2022, my life quietly unraveled with one phone call. I had just walked into my small apartment near Capitol Hill after a double shift at the community clinic. My fingers were numb from the cold. My suitcase was already packed. A green scarf lay folded on top, and the gifts I had wrapped so carefully waited by the door. I had done everything right again. I really believed this year I would be enough. My phone buzzed. Julian, my older brother. "Hey Lena," he said carefully. "Marina's coming for Christmas this year." I already knew what was coming. "She's very big on emotional alignment," he added. "And the energy you carry from the clinic is kind of a lot for her. So we thought maybe this year you could take a break. You understand, right? Nothing personal." I stared at the blinking lights on my small thrift store tree. Nothing personal. Before I could answer, my mom called. "Sweetheart, we just want peace," she said gently. "You know how sensitive Marina is. If you come, it could make things awkward. Honestly, if you show up, we may not open the door. No soft lies. No excuses. Just rejection." I didn't cry. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I stood there holding my phone, looking at the gifts I had wrapped for people who had never truly made space for me. People who only noticed me when my absence made life harder. That night, I opened my bank account. I canceled the money for my parents' overdue taxes. Locked the monthly transfer to my brother. Ended the insurance I had co-signed for my dad. I wasn't angry. I was finished. For years, I believed that if I stayed useful enough, calm enough, dependable enough, I would finally earn a place in my own family. I thought being needed meant being loved. But in the quiet of my apartment, with cinnamon in the air and my old radiator humming beside me, the truth finally settled. I was never celebrated. I was only allowed until I wasn't. Outside, snow began to fall. And for the first time I felt relief. I was the oldest. The practiced child. The one who learned early that affection had to be earned. Julian, 5 years younger, was the miracle. When he failed, it was called passion. When I worked harder, it was called too much. They never threw me a graduation party. But they filled the house with candles and balloons when Julian dropped out, again, to start another project. Once I found one of my old sketchbooks in their recycling bin. They said they thought it was scrap paper. So I kept showing up. Through medical school. Through residency. Through long overnight shifts in quiet hospital rooms where most people didn't stay. That's why I chose geriatrics. I recognized the forgotten. At home, my role never changed. I paid for repairs. Sent money. Scheduled appointments. Solved problems. They never said thank you. They didn't have to. In my family, my help was expected, like gravity. And then with one short call, I learned I wasn't even welcome for Christmas. So I stopped. No announcements. No messages. No goodbyes. I unplugged the half-written Christmas text I had drafted. I turned off the lights on my little tree. I slid the wrapped presents into the closet. Love isn't supposed to feel like an unpaid job. And usefulness is not belonging. Christmas morning arrived quiet and gray. I sat by the window with a mug of cinnamon tea and didn't call anyone. I didn't light the tree. I let the silence stay. That evening my phone buzzed. "Lena, can you answer?" my aunt wrote. "You've done enough damage already." Damage? I hadn't even been invited. When I called her back, her voice was careful. "They're saying you ruined Christmas," she whispered. "But Lena, you weren't even there." I froze. "How can you ruin something you weren't invited to?" She hesitated. Then she said softly, "After dinner, Marina was looking at the family photos on the mantel." She paused. She stopped in front of one picture. An old, slightly crooked photo from a birthday party long ago. I was about 11, laughing in an oversized maroon sweater, when Marina tilted her head and said, loud enough for the whole room to hear, "That's Dr. Lena Morgan, isn't it?" Aunt Ramona nodded. "She stayed with my neighbor all night. She saved her life." The room froze. Laughter died. Forks hovered. My mother's smile locked in place. Julian went pale. Marina looked around, confused. "Wait, Lena, your sister." No one gave her a real answer. Whatever careful half-truth they offered was enough. Marina quietly gathered her things, thanked everyone with a sharp, polite smile and walked out. That same night she posted a few honest lines online. About how families rewrite people to protect prettier stories. About how silence erases. Nothing dramatic. Just true. And for the first time someone outside my family had seen me. Not as a problem. Not as background. As a doctor. Sister. A real person. The day after Christmas the messages started. An email titled "Let's Reset Things." It sounded warm. Professional. No apology. Just talk about stress, emotions, family values. Buried in the middle was the real reason. Could I contact Marina and smooth things over? Because Julian's career was being affected. That was the moment I understood. They didn't miss me. They missed the usefulness of me. That night my phone rang again. This time it was the hospital administrator. My father had called him. He said he was worried about my emotional stability. Not because he believed it. Because he thought it would scare me into silence. When that didn't work, the quiet campaign followed. Group messages. Concerned relatives. Soft warnings. Lena's overwhelmed. She's isolating herself. She's just going through something. No mention of Christmas. No mention of being shut out. Just concern carefully shaped into control. They weren't protecting me. They were protecting the story where Julian was the family's pride. And I was the quiet helper who never made trouble. In mid-January they showed up at my door. My parents. Julian. Smiles stretched thin beneath their winter coats. I opened the door only a few inches. My mother spoke softly. "We just want to talk." I finally saw it clearly. They weren't here for me. They were here for the old version of me, the girl who believed love had to be earned. I gave them one word. No. Not a speech. Not an explanation. Just no. I closed the door gently. Not to punish them. To protect myself. Inside, I sat down at my desk and looked at the framed letter Marina had sent me. For the first time in my life I felt light. Forgiveness, I learned, doesn't always mean reopening the door. Sometimes it means keeping it closed. Later another email arrived. "We miss you. We never meant to hurt you. Can we start over?" And at the end, quiet and sharp. "Please ask Marina to take down her post. It's affecting someone's future." I didn't reply. Some doors are meant to stay closed. Not because of anger. Because of self-respect.